What's up, YouTube? Sawyer here, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. Today, this video is all about what can $2,500 get you in basketball cards in the year 2023. Now, this is specific to sealed wax, meaning product that hasn't been opened. We're not talking about buying individual cards or buying lots or anything like that. This is specific to brand new product that you are wanting to rip and open. So what we're going to do here is dive into the spreadsheet that I've created, and I'll take a minute just to explain like how I set it up, and then also like where I'm getting the information, so you guys can have a good idea. But before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit about why I decided to make this video. So I jumped back into the hobby a few years ago, like during the pandemic, and really I did not know what I was doing. I just had some money to spend, so I went out and bought some single cards. I bought some graded cards. I bought a few blaster packs. I bought, a hobby box here and there. It was really random, very sporadic, did not know what I was doing, and honestly, I think it did me a disservice, because now that I've changed that, like I'm enjoying the hobby in a new way. So last year was a little bit better than the year previous, but this last year, my main like strategy, if you would, if you want to call it that, with collecting cards, was basically going around to the nearest three Walmarts and Targets and seeing what products they had on the shelves, what blaster boxes, what retail packs, value packs, things like that they had, because none of the Targets or Walmarts in my area had like mega packs. Sorry, mega boxes. They just had blaster boxes and like hanger packs. And then also like my local card shops didn't really have anything either. So I just kind of had to figure things out on my own. What I've kind of come to, or what I wanted to do this year, was take the 2022-2023 NBA season and try and purchase product from each set that Panini releases, and try and do it as quickly, like as close to the release date as possible. So the first thing that I wanted to do, right, was get the release date so that I could know, okay, this is when the product is releasing. I'm going to try and open it within a week of the product releasing, when it's new and fresh and everyone's excited about it. Now, that didn't work so well with the first three here, Chronicles Draft Picks, Panini Hoops, and Draft Picks. I decided to do this in March. So I should have started like in January. That would have helped. But I didn't decide to do this until March. So these first three I just picked up at the very beginning of March. Now you might be asking, where do you get the release dates? Like, where do you get that information from? There's a few websites that provide that information. If you go on Panini's own website, they usually have like a coming soon tag on new product that's about to release. But if I go into store, trading cards, basketball, it will also have a countdown as well. So this is good to know that Prism Monopoly is coming out soon. But let's see if I can find an example of something that's going to release. Clearly Don Russ, which is probably a set I'm going to pick up. It has a countdown that 1 day, 23 hours, and 9 minutes this product will release on Panini's website. But honestly, what I reference more often is Beckett. So Beckett.com, they have a release calendar. You can go by sport. Basketball 2022, 2023 basketball. They show you the sets that are coming up. So this one, for example, it says upcoming releases, Panini Prism, which actually just released like a week ago. It says April 12th, April 19th, April 26th. So that way I have a good idea of when stuff is coming. In addition to that, I can also see the details of each set, which is really nice. So I can see like the checklist, what players are included in the set, what are the chase cards. So I can look at Prism, and Beckett will give me a breakdown of like, here are the different autographs and inserts you can find. Here are the different types of products. So we have choice, fast break, first off the line, hobby box, etc. What you can expect in each hobby box, each choice box, each fast break box, and then it'll also break down all the different parallels, which Prism is notorious for having a cajillion different parallels that you can pull. So anyways, that's where I get the information when it comes to release dates and the name of the set, and just basic information about the set in general. The next thing I do is I take a look at, the type, whether it's a hobby box, H2 box, retail, blaster boxes, things like that. And then I get the cost. Now this too I get from really two main sources. One is Panini's website. They do a pretty good job, obviously, of like being the manufacturer. They kind of set the price for each of these products. So for example, if we're going back to basketball, it will say Court Kings is selling at $240 right now. Donruss is at $275, Donruss Elite, sorry, and then like Prism Draft Picks at $109. But then I also like to reference another website, which is Dave and Adams. Typically, like on new releases, they tend to jack up the prices a little bit, and so you'll end up paying more here than you would on Panini's website. But then after release date, things start to drop. So for example, we just saw, on Panini's website, Prism Draft Picks was $109. Here it's $90. Donruss Elite's at $220, where on Panini's website it was $275. But then on the flip side, if I were to type in like 2022-23 Prism Basketball Hobby Box, on Panini's website it was listed at, they have it at $270. It's out of stock, but on Dave and Adams it's listed at $299. So it really just depends on, the website. And then also there's eBay as well. I hesitate a little more with eBay unless it's like a trusted seller, just because people can tamper with stuff. You never know who like tries to open a box and then reseal it or does like shady stuff. For the most part, eBay's pretty good about, giving you legit stuff, but I tend to lean more towards Panini and Dave and Adams, or like Blowout Cards or websites like that, just because I feel more safe that they're not screwing with the product in any way or banging it up or anything like that. So then, I have this $2,500 budget. So I'm really got to be cautious about what I spend my money on. In general, I got to avoid all of the premium sets. National Treasures, Flawless, Prism, Donruss, probably Select and Mosaic as well. So when I end up doing when I want to still open that set is I either go retail with it or I try and find an alternative product. For example, with Origins, instead of getting the hobby box, I went with the H2 box. National Treasures and Flawless don't really have any alternatives. Contenders, I'm hoping that they release some retail product. We'll see if that happens. Prism, for example, I'll probably get like $150 worth of blaster boxes. I just saw those Monopoly ones pop up, so I'll probably pick up a few of those. To make my $2,500 budget, I pretty much put a cap at like $250. If any product is going to cost me over $250, it's probably out of my range. But I've already been able to pick up a Chronicles Draft Picks hobby box, a couple Prism Draft Pick hobby boxes, a Panini Hoops hobby box, Donruss hobby box, Donruss Elite, and then I'll be picking up a Revolutions and a Crown Royale, however you want to say it. I'll pick those boxes up in the next week or so. So I felt like I've been able to open quite a bit of product. On this list, I have every product that Panini releases that I'm interested in, whether it's a hobby box, retail, Tmall, pretty much like each individual product that they release, regardless of the set. I have a total here of, how much that's going to cost. And at the end of this, when I add in Optic and Select and Mosaic, which I haven't yet, we're probably looking at like $30,000, not to mention the National Treasures, because this is just National Treasures Collegiate. So once we get actual National Treasures, we're looking like upwards of $35,000 just to collect every set that Panini offers. So I don't know how many people out there can actually do that. That's quite a bit of money. That's a whole new car. And if you take out Impeccable, it's really only $8,000, which is still a decent amount. I just wanted to highlight that. So with my current setup, with everything crossed out and only including the things that I do want, we're looking at about $2,500, and I'll have to do some rearranging here to make sure I get some Select and Mosaic and Optic in, because those are big time sets that are super popular. Definitely want to open some of that. So we'll have to make some decisions here in the next couple weeks to see what we want to spend our money on here. The other thing that I've been tracking is the real price that I've paid. So there's kind of like this retail price, and then I've bought stuff like on discount or on eBay or during a sale. And so it really just depends there. Like that might save me some money as well. What I've noticed is that if you wait till after the release date, maybe like a month or two after the release date, then prices can slash upwards of like 25 to 50%. So you can get a $200 box for $100 or a $250 box for $175. It's not all that uncommon. You just have to deal with the fact that you're not getting to open the product when everyone else is, when they're excited about it and when it's brand new. After I checked, the price that I paid versus the actual cost, then I also look at the card value that I actually pulled when I opened the product. And I break it down in a percentage. So, for example, Chronicles Draft Picks, I paid $109 for a hobby box. Right now it's on sale for $82, which kind of hurts. But I pulled $54 worth of cards out of that hobby box. So, essentially, I got 50% of my money back on that. I spent $109, I got $54 back in cards, plus the enjoyment of opening the box. The way that I do that is I have this separate spreadsheet that breaks down, each card that I pulled from each set has their name, what kind of card it was, and then the eBay comp. So, for example, I used this one as an example. 2022 Prism Draft Picks, I pulled a Variation Walker Kessler Orange Pulsar to $49. I go type that in on eBay, 2022 Prism Draft Picks Walker Kessler Variation Orange Pulsar, and I've got two comps. So on eBay, first I have to mark it as complete items, sold items. So if I take the average, that's $18. So I could probably adjust this to 18 because one sold for 16, one sold for 20. And then that gives me, all the information I have here. As you can see, in general, I'm getting about 40 to 50% of my money spent back. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought it'd be lower. I thought it'd be closer to like 25 or 30%. But it's closer to 50% on most of these boxes. On the Prism Draft Pick Sparkle Pack, I actually got 100% of it back and close to 100% on my H2 box out of Origins. So good value there on those two. But it's not always about the money. Like a lot of this hobby is just about the fun of opening the packs and enjoying the rip. So I have a lot of cards that I plan on opening here. I guess products, a lot of new product, a lot of sealed wax, hobby boxes. We got Revolutions, Crown Royal, clearly Don Russ from the football, and Prism Monopoly blaster boxes. So quite a few different things we're going to be opening in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there's information that's missing that you'd like to know more about or why I went the way that I did. But I just want to say I'm really enjoying doing it this way. It's very intentional. I know what I'm spending. I'm trying to stay close to release dates, so I get to be involved in the hobby. So I'm having a blast doing it this way. If you do it a different way, let me know. If you have suggestions on how to do it differently, please let me know as well in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.